The stars are aligning for Tesla's biggest vehicle yet, and I do mean literally, not metaphorically. They've already started adding code to the Tesla mobile app for the Tesla Semi renders, which is amazing to think about because it implies that the semi-truck drivers that are going to be driving this thing are basically, regardless of if they're Tesla owners or not, going to have to download the Tesla app and pair it with their car and probably be able to take advantage of a bunch of Tesla-like features, but now on a semi-truck. So, does the truck automatically lock when you walk away from it? Probably. You'll be able to preheat and pre-cool the semi-truck as you're walking up to it, lock and unlock it from the mobile app, and does the Tesla Semi come with premium connectivity? And will you be able to use Smart Summon with a giant trailer attached? We've all seen how terrible Smart Summon can be. Can you imagine how great it would be to see this massive semi-truck driving itself around a parking lot and running over curbs and trees and plants? Oh my god, it would be hilarious. But these renders within the mobile app actually give us a good indication on some attributes of the design. Like, for one, the frunk has made it to the production model. I'm not exactly sure what truck drivers will be putting in the frunk of the Semi, but you'll have an availability to that. Also, the inside showcased the bright red seat belt. I don't know if that's just how the 3D models are or if the actual design will have that, but it's a cool look. And surprisingly different, I believe, from the prototype is there's only 2 seats. They do look awfully large, very comfortable, and the Tesla Semi seems to have a lot of custom parts. Like, the seat is not the same seat we've seen in the Cybertruck or in any other Tesla, and the steering wheel also seems unique to the Semi, with the capacitive buttons from the Model S and X, but not quite the yoke. It's an interesting mesh that I bet a lot of people are hoping comes to the Cybertruck, but it does still seem to keep the 2 15-inch display designs, basically using the same exterior displays from the Model 3 and Y. It's just you get 2 of them now, and it even has a fairly similar HVAC vent blowing towards you, which sounds just like Tesla. Even when you're selling $200,000 trucks, you're like, how can we cut costs here? Because obviously all of that money that you're paying for with the Semi is got to be going straight to that massive 1 megawatt hour battery pack. But also in these 3D models within the app, we see the charge flap door opened up, and that door flap doesn't quite give away what the connector is. Again, from up close pictures people have got at the Modesto Mega Charger, we see that it's not the MCS connector that was teased at previous auto shows of being able to support over 3 megawatts of charge speed, but it definitely doesn't look like NACS, so that kind of squashes the report that, you know, the 1000 volt architecture of the Tesla connector would be able to charge the Tesla Semi. Probably isn't going to, which is a good call. But also the somewhat disappointing thing is that even though the renders within the app showcase a fairly tall Semi, that often those taller trucks will have sleeper cabs in the top, these renders at least clearly don't have that. So it would be great if Tesla could actually develop a version of the Semi where there's a place for a bed, where maybe you have an internal display and you can watch TV or something while you're sleeping in the Semi. But perhaps for electric trucks they think it won't be as common, or maybe they just didn't feel like adding it to the render for the sake of the app. But I'm personally really hoping for more updates surrounding the Semi at the delivery event, which, yes, as much as I was requesting this and I wasn't sure if it was going to happen, Martin Viecha, who runs Tesla's investor relations, has come forward and said they are going to be doing random drawings from existing Tesla shareholders as to who gets invited to the Tesla Semi delivery event. So at this point, we're not exactly sure where it's going to take place, but at the last earnings call, Elon did say he would be in attendance. We also know that Pepsi will be the first customer to take delivery. We don't know of how many, but we do know that they're starting with the highest range Tesla of all time, the 500-mile range variant. And keep in mind, that's 500 miles with a maximum payload, with a gross weight of 82,000 pounds. So if you're not carrying that max payload, which a lot of companies aren't, the range might actually be a little bit better than 500 miles. So there's a lot of firsts with this vehicle, and I know that it applies to a very small percentage of us Tesla fans, but I'm still really excited about it because we haven't really gotten a new Tesla model for over 2 years now. The Model Y was the last one. The Plaid Model S was more of a refresh than it was a new model, but it's the first time Tesla is entering the trucking space, and it's also the first time Tesla is entering the Class 8 heavy-duty trucking space. It's the first time they're breaking the 500-mile range barrier. It's the first vehicle that's going to have a centered driver's position. That should make launching it overseas pretty easy, right? And the fact that there's an event means that there will probably be somewhat of a presentation where I'm hoping they can dive into more details about the semi-truck, like what the peak charge speed is for a 1 megawatt hour battery pack, the connector type they're using, where they're planning on deploying mega chargers next, how many vehicles they can build in the first year of production. And it's safe to say that this is the most hyped I have ever been for any semi-truck unveiling, and I probably never will be this excited for another semi-truck again, but the sightings have definitely increased. There's been a lot of people posting on Reddit Tesla semis running about in the wild. Very occasionally do we see the shorter models that don't have the taller aerodynamic cab design, but those shorter models probably make a lot more sense for like Tesla delivery semi-trucks because they don't have a very aerodynamic trailer to match the shape of, so you might as well just have the smallest possible frontal surface area to result in less drag. But one last interesting thing I'll note about all of the sightings and the mobile app being updated to showcase the Tesla Semi is they all appear to be white, you know, and it looks good. I'm excited for the Semi, but when they first unveiled it, they were kind of showcasing all of these different colors, and now it all seems to just be that basic pearl white. I know this is not high on the priority list for semi production, but who else would love to see a Quicksilver Tesla Semi or a Midnight Cherry? Oh my gosh, they could charge $30,000 extra for that one and probably someone would pay for it. Even a Midnight Silver Metallic Tesla Semi would look pretty dope in my opinion. It's such a cool looking vehicle. There's really no color that you could go wrong with. But all that excited, I have registered myself as a shareholder. Normally, I don't enjoy big events with lots of people, but this is the type of event that I would gladly go to if I get invited. Every share of Tesla stock you own counts as an entry to the drawing of who's going to get invited. So if you really want to go to the Tesla Semi event, I guess you just have to buy a bunch of Tesla stock. Not financial advice, but it's fishy how they make you do that to get into these things. Either way, I think it'll be a lot of fun, especially because there's been people talking about years and years and years ago on the referral program. If you referred enough people, you got the ability to race the Tesla Semi on their test track. I'm curious if they're going to be willing to hold up to that promise that they made years and years and years ago, because it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun for everyday people to try driving around the semi-truck since there's no transmission and everyday people could probably know how to drive this thing, and yet it's still insanely fast. 0 to 60 on a giant vehicle like that in 5 seconds with the Plaid powertrain, and I know it's unlikely to happen for a while, but I would love it if some YouTubers could get their hands on the Tesla Semi and just go into all of the nitty-gritty specs and design cues they chose for the interior. And I mean, just look at that mega sun visor. I want to see this thing in action. All that great stuff I can't wait to see, and I'm glad that we're still getting a new Tesla model this year in just a couple of weeks, assuming it doesn't get delayed. But at this time, they haven't announced any delays yet, so I'm just gonna assume first deliveries December 1st. Please, Tesla, live stream this event. It will be worth it. What are you guys most excited for with the Tesla Semi? Feel free to let me know down below, and thank you to everyone on Patreon supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos, so thanks again. Have an excellent rest of your day.